Anthropic, the creator of Claude, just banned Openclaw, but there's a bigger story that nobody is talking about. And today we need to cover what's happening with open source AI and with big tech AI. In Anthropic's official statement, they said, quote, "You'll no longer be able to use your Claude subscription limits for third-party harnesses, including Openclaw." But why are they doing this? And what are the applications? Well, first, let's just clarify who the major parties are in this particular instance. Openclaw is a free, open source, and self-hosted AI agent platform that runs locally on your machine to automate tasks. Went super viral just recently. And there's a couple key words there that I just want you to put in the back of your head that we're going to get back to in a moment. The first is free, and the second is open source. Open source meaning you build it, it's local. You don't need to worry about what the tech oligarchs or various government entities say. It's yours, it's open source, it's for the people, as Bain might say. And again, we will get back to that in just a moment. Claude, the other party here, is a family of advanced large language models that are developed by Anthropic, and they are designed for, quote, safe, steerable, and highly capable AI assistance. And by the way, right now, Claude is by far my drug of choice. It is unbelievably powerful and unbelievably easy to use. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a tech nerd. I've been in the digital marketing space for, almost a decade at this point. I've produced tons and tons of outputs with AI. A few years ago, I was using OpenAI APIs with Zapier to connect to various Google Forms and creating automations with Gmail stuff. But I'm just a regular guy. I'm not like overly smart. I'm not a tech pro. I don't even know how to code. But between Claude Cowork, Claude Code, Claude Chat, and now Claude Dispatch, I'm able to be extremely, extremely effective at all times. But again, we'll get back to that in a moment. What actually happened here? So Anthropic has officially blocked or banned third-party interfaces, and specifically Openclaw was called out in their email announcements. And what it's done is it's banned or blocked them from using Claude subscription quotas starting today, April 4th. Now, users are required to use their own API keys rather than relying on the flat rate monthly subscription, which effectively makes the tool insanely more expensive to use. I mean, what might have cost you $200 a month to do before is now going to cost you $5,000 a month in the future, which kind of basically breaks the relationship completely. And we'll get back to that in a little more detail here in just a moment. So what are these official reasons why Anthropic is doing this? So first off, Anthropic, of course, would like to reduce legal exposure. They can't control what's happening with Openclaw, and Openclaw can be notoriously unpredictable. Anthropic would certainly like more control over what their models do. I mean, we've shared a couple stories. I'll share a link to a video we covered where someone shared their Solana cryptocurrency wallet with Openclaw, and it just basically gave away a bunch of free cryptocurrency, which was kind of bizarre. Just because someone on X said, "Hey, could you give me some crypto?" And it did. I'll post a link to that video here. It's a really, really shocking story. Additionally, Anthropic wants to minimize the misuse of huge API calls and massive cost explosions. You see, one of the powerful things about AI agents is they just work. They just go and go and go. And I think most people don't really fully appreciate or understand what this means, where, a human being needs to eat, sleep, go on dates with their girlfriend or wife. They need to exercise. AI agents don't need to do that. AI agents are just always churning. And that can certainly rack up expenses for a company like Anthropic. And additionally, I think Anthropic wants to avoid bad press. You don't want to show up in the press because your AI model is linked to something nefarious that someone completed with their Openclaw open source AI framework. Now, again, you will still actually technically be able to use Claude with your Openclaw models. So it's not totally dead. If you've built an entire workflow off of Openclaw, it still will work. But the problem here is you can expect an insanely large price increase. Again, what used to cost you $200 a month might now cost you $5,000 a month, which kind of breaks the model completely. Okay, unless you have some sort of huge, insane profit margin on your Openclaw framework, in which case, you know, you're going to be Gucci regardless. You're going to probably smart enough to find some sort of workaround. I've seen some people talking about that on X. However, and we're going to cover this in a moment, I don't think that's going to fly for long, guys. There are two things that big companies hate. The first is free. The second is open source. Again, we're going to cover that in just a moment. Because the reality is that with a huge price increase like that, you're just not going to be able to go full agentic. You're just not going to be able to set up a machine that's working all the time. You're going to need to have a human involved to go through stopgaps and to keep the thing going. And by the way, I actually love Claude Cowork. It's kind of my new obsession because after I ask it to complete a task and after it's completed, it kind of stops and says, well, what do you want me to do next? At which point I want to be there to fire it up as soon as possible. The more time that thing is working, the more productive I am, the more output I'm getting, the more money I'm making, the more value I'm creating for my customers and my clients. Makes sense, right? So I feel this kind of pressure. I feel this pressure to make sure that Claude keeps working whenever it stops firing. And again, I think that that's going to be kind of the way that AI looks, at least in the immediate term. And I just want to highlight, this is the third time I've highlighted, I want to get to it again, guys, because I think that at the end of the day, this is something that people aren't talking about, but it needs to be talked about. And once I say this, it's going to sound so obvious immediately. People, I don't think, fully appreciate how much money is at stake here with this AI revolution. Guys, please be clear that, you know, and this won't be a surprise to people that have been subscribed to the channel. We've been covering this for months now. This is an AI revolution. The world is never going to be the same. This is like the Gutenberg press times 10. That's what I think. And we don't frankly know exactly where it's going. At least with the Gutenberg press, you're like, oh, a lot of people are going to be able to read. We're going to be able to print books really quickly. We're going to be able to spread messages like the story of Christ and Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. But with AI, there's a lot of unexpected consequences. We don't know, is it going to be the Terminator? Is it going to be, we don't need to work anymore? Is it going to be a revolution, a democratized revolution, an enlightenment of creativity through AI video and AI imagery and AI art? We don't actually know. My biggest fear, by the way, is that we see tens of millions of men just like me and you and I, that become irrelevant because the skills and the problems that we're solving in the past are all solved by AI agents. That's my fear. And part of the reason, the main reason why I have this channel is to help enlighten, to highlight problems, and again, to offer some solutions so that we can get through them. But again, let's get back to the point. There is too much money at stake. Guys, companies are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on AI technology. And you thought that you were going to get free? You thought you were going to get open source? You thought you were going to have control over these models? Guys, who the hell are you? First off, free. It's never going to happen, guys. You know, there's energy costs, there's token usage, there's the hardware, there's the infrastructure, there's the cooling. There's hundreds of billions of dollars at stake here. If you thought you were going to get free, that's listen, you might have a free ChatGPT plan, but it's limiting you. You're getting subpar results. It's worth the $20 to spend on, ChatGPT Pro or Claude Pro, which I actually have subscriptions to both. It's worth it, first of all, okay? You're not going to get free. So just scratch that. You're not going to get free. Do you remember Napster? Do you remember what happened when Napster happened, when Justin Timberlake founded Napster? Justin Timberlake didn't officially found Napster, but he was in that movie with I can't remember the name of the movie at this point. The Social Network. Justin Timberlake played the guy. Anyway, regardless, remember Napster? If you're old enough, I remember the first time I opened Napster and I was blown away. I had spent my entire life on the radio with a tape cassette waiting for my song to come on so I could hit record. And all of a sudden Napster comes along. All of a sudden I only need to buy an entire $20 CD. I can just get the one single I want off Napster. I was blown away. And now you can get any song anytime you want on YouTube, but you're going to pay you're going to get ads, or you're going to have to pay for the download on Spotify, or you were never going to get free. You didn't get free with free music. You're not going to get free with AI. A and B, open source? You thought you were going to be able to create this huge framework that was going to be widely accepted and corporations were going to pay you millions of dollars to build these open source frameworks. You're not going to get open source, guys. There's too much control at stake. You really thought that the most powerful people in the world were just going to let everyone have open source? It's not going to happen. There's going to be controls in place. And I think there's some good reasons for that. I think there's some bad and malicious reasons for that. But the regard is, you're not going to get free. You're not going to get open source. It's not going to be widely accepted. I'm not saying if you're a whiz, you're going to be able to set up and create some amazing things. I think there's going to be that. But when it comes to available for the masses, building out amazing products and services using AI, you're not going to get open source. They're going to keep putting roadblocks in the way, just like we see here with Anthropic putting this big roadblock in the way for, if you built out a business or a process or a system using Openclaw, this is a big roadblock. You're going to wake up one morning and be like, oh, I thought my bill was going to be a couple hundred and it's actually a couple thousand. That's going to happen. You're going to be like, oh crap, I screwed up. I believe, at least the way that I see, how does the next 12 to 18 months look? The model moving forward is clear. It's going to be, you want agentic AI, you're going to need to use a safe, proven system, and you're going to pay for token usage, period, full stop. And honestly, I'm okay with paying for token usage as long as I know that I can make money or build relevant skills in this new world. And I think enterprises are going to be doing this as well. But here's the problem with the tokens, guys. As soon as these companies get you, they're going to jack up the rate. As soon as your major corporation, your enterprise, your small business says, Claude is our drug of choice, we're going to use Claude, the token usage are going to go up. And what are you going to do? Your whole system is built into it. And frankly, your profits are going to be increased enough that you're okay with it. At least that's my thought. But the token use, I expect that the cost of tokens are going to go up. This gets complicated. We can't predict the future completely because, as we've seen with technology, as technology becomes more widespread, the costs come down. We just see this all the time. The cost of technology is always coming down. I mean, for me to have a smartphone in 2020, it would have cost me 10 times, right? So the cost, you could go to a poor village in Africa and they have smartphones there, right? So the cost of technology does come down. However, the cost of energy could go up, maybe. The amount of demand is going to go up, okay? Enterprises are going to be burning through tokens like crazy to create a bunch of AI slop. And so that's another video for another day. But the cost of these things will go up over time once companies are reliant. But here's the kicker. I believe that right now is the best time to get in on this technology because it's relatively cheap now. It's relatively cheap right now. In the future, it might be much more expensive to do all this AI agentic stuff. So you want to learn how to use this stuff now. And I'm kind of talking to myself. You want to learn how to use this stuff now, A. And B, you want to start building now as well. Because what it costs to build an app today, it might cost 10 times what it costs now in the future. So at least for me, I want to be knowledgeable. I want to have the right frameworks. I want to have the solid rock foundation and SOPs in place. I want to have all the context training documents so I can easily manage these AI tools. That's where I'm at. And so I just really want to encourage you to go out and learn and start using these tools now. Do not wait. If you're not on a $20 a month plan, get on it. I'm actually on a $100 a month Claude plan right now. I might go up to $200 because it's so powerful. And I just want it churning and working all the time. So go out and start learning it. And, listen, if you really want to accelerate, Mazel tov, I'm with you. I don't just want to be a guy here on the internet that complains and highlights problems. I do also want to give you solutions. I want to say, hey, thanks for watching the video. Now go out and watch 100 random YouTube videos and influencers you don't trust, and maybe they're able to help you. I do want to provide help for you. And I've got a lot of different plans in the works. This upcoming week, I'm co-hosting a workshop on how to use Claude to build apps. And to me, this is a gap in my game. So I'm bringing in someone who really knows their stuff that I really trust. It's going to be an amazing workshop. You're going to work live with me with Dan in a workshop for 2 days. And by the end, you're going to have the entire framework, the entire tech stack, the entire step-by-step procedures to build your own software with Claude. And again, I think this is something that we want to take advantage of now before the cost of tokens increase. You want to build now because in the future, it's probably going to cost more. I just think of Bitcoin. If I could go back to 2010 and buy Bitcoin at 39 cents, I would go there in a heartbeat. Now it's like 70 grand for a Bitcoin. It keeps fluctuating. But at any rate, go out, build, start creating. If you want some extra assistance, if you want the hand holding, if you want to have someone walk through you step by step, if you want to have something tangible at the end of 2 days, go to the link below, join me in the workshop, and I promise you it will be worth your while. In fact, I'm so sure it's going to be worth your while. We have a 100% money back guarantee. So you can get the details there, and I hope to see you there. Regardless, let me know what you think. Openclaw, Anthropic, what do you think about this whole topic? Do you think this is good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think you'll get free? Do you think you'll get open source? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, have a blessed day. Happy Easter. He is risen, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right? Peace.